All right, today we're jumping into a really critical, but honestly often misunderstood part of drug development, clinical quality assurance. We're going to find out why it's so much more than just a department. It's really the foundation of trust in the medicine we all rely on.
So, when you hear clinical QA, what pops into your head? For a lot of people, it's probably audits, inspections, GCP compliance, basically this team that just goes around checking boxes. But let me tell you, that idea, it barely scratches the surface.
Because really, at its heart, clinical QA is all about answering one single profound question. It's not about the checklist at all. It's about this. Can we truly trust that the information we get from a clinical trial is real, that it's ethical, accurate, and consistent? I mean, that one question, it drives everything they do.
Okay, so let's peel back that first layer, right? Let's get beyond that checklist and see what this field is really all about.
Here's the crucial point. Their mission is really twofold. Number one, protect the data. Is it credible? Is it real? And number two, and this is the big one, protect the people. We're talking about the actual trial participants whose safety is absolutely paramount.
So, to make all that happen, the scope of what clinical QA has to oversee, it's just huge. Let's break down what that actually looks like.
I mean, the range of what they're responsible for here is just incredible. It's not just one thing. We're talking about making sure good clinical practice, that's GCP, the global standard for ethics and quality, is followed in every single trial. They're out there auditing the clinical sites, the vendors, making sure the study protocol is followed down to the letter. And all the while, they're protecting the data's integrity from beginning to end. Oh, and on top of all that, they're managing risks and making sure everyone is ready for a regulatory inspection at any moment. It's a massive, massive job.
And this really brings us to the ultimate goal, Think of all that clinical data as a story. Clinical QA's job is to make sure that story is 100% nonfiction, a completely accurate, truthful account of what actually happened to the patients during the trial.
Now, it's also really important to get how clinical QA is different from other quality roles. You've got commercial QA, right? They're focused on the final manufactured product, the pill, the injection. But clinical QA, they have a totally unique perspective. Their entire focus is on the human side of things, subject safety, ethical conduct, and making sure the evidence itself is reliable. The stakes just feel completely different, don't they?
And this gets to the absolute heart of it all. The biggest risk here isn't just, failing an audit. No way. The real danger is a company spending millions of dollars, or even worse, a doctor changing how they treat their patients, all based on data that was just flat out wrong. That is the catastrophic risk that clinical QA is there to prevent. So, what does it actually take to do this job, to succeed in this kind of high-stakes environment? Well, it takes a really specific mindset and a pretty unique blend of skills. Yeah, anyone who gets into this field learns super fast that this is not a solo mission. It is all about collaboration. You've got to figure out how to be the quality authority while also being a real partner to the clinical teams. That's a tricky balance. You have to communicate with total clarity, and you're constantly navigating this crazy web of global regulations. It's just as much about people skills as it is about knowing the technical stuff.
So, if we were to look inside the essential toolkit for a QA pro, what would we find? Well, of course, you've got to know the rules inside and out, the good clinical practice, or GCP principles. But that's just the start. You need a risk-based mindset so you can focus on what really matters. It's about having the ability to look past the documents and see how the processes are actually working in the real world. And all of that has to be backed up by some sharp analytical and communication skills to really be that effective voice for quality.
Okay, let's bring all this together. Because when you put all these pieces in place, you start to see how it builds to something so much bigger, the very foundation of trust in medicine itself. And this, right here, this is the key. If you don't take anything else away, remember this. Clinical quality is right there at the very beginning of the whole product lifecycle. Think of it like the foundation of a house. If that foundation, the data, is shaky, then everything you build on top of it, everything, the manufacturing, the regulatory approval, the safety monitoring, it's all built on something that could crumble.
And that's why this work is so vital. The job isn't just about finding mistakes or being the quality police. The real purpose is so much more constructive. It's about building and protecting our trust, our collective trust in the evidence that doctors use every single day to take care of us and our families.
So let's wrap this up with a question for you, especially if you work in this field or you're thinking about it. What do you think is the biggest learning curve in this complex role?
It's a field that demands you're always growing, and figuring out that journey is just so key. Thanks for jumping into this with me.